Hello, everybody. I'm TychoCelchuuu, and I'm drunk on vodka. We have a match today between the United States Forces Romeo Rear Echelon Troops. Why did I say that? Romeo Airborne, United States of Airborne. And, let's let my game fuck up a bit whenever I scroll around at the map at the beginning of a match, everything's all choppy and stuff. I guess it's loading stuff into memory. I don't know this game. Has technical issues, which is appropriate because the other player is named for my CPU. Let's see if he's chosen a doctrine yet, he or she. Nope, and it's invisible too, because sometimes that happens. In this video game, I'm drunk on vodka. I had 3 shot glasses full of vodka, and if that sounds like it won't get you drunk, I don't know, maybe you'd normally be right. I don't know how normal people's alcohol tolerance is. I'm 6 feet tall and 125 pounds, which means I'm a lightweight when it comes to the alcohol. 3 things of vodka, and I'm feeling it. I cannot drive at this point. For all my European listeners, I've prepared on this little piece of paper, maybe you can hear it wrinkling sort of by the microphone. I prepared a European translation of my lightweightness. I am 1.83 meters tall, and I weigh about 9 stone. So that's why I'm drunk off 3 shot glasses of vodka. And that is the entirety of the preparation I've done for this shoutcast. That's not true. I also prepared by reading the description that Romeo said of this replay. He said it's got airborne, and I looked up Romeo's rank, and Romeo's not bad at the game, so hopefully this should be an exciting matchup between 2 players, both of whom are potentially homosexual, but I don't actually know if they are or aren't, so I wouldn't want to say they are. This is really bad. He just lost a rifle squad. So that's GG right there, calling it for my CPU, unless Romeo manages to kill this squad, which at this point is looking like a possibility, actually. Nope, just kidding. They're they lose the Mexican standoff. It's not a Mexican standoff. That's a game of chicken. It's a game of chicken because you don't want to retreat, but you don't want to lose the squad, so you wait till the last possible moment. And then they both waited till the last possible moment. It turned out to be the same moment for each of them, and they left. So interesting that, what's-his-face chose this thing first. You would normally want to delay your commander choice until at least you have something you want to get from the commander, but I guess Romeo was sure that and I know it's a he because I've seen one of his shoutcasts, one or more. I can't remember if I've seen multiple. I'm drunk. Romeo knew he wanted airborne. He can get Pathfinders if he wants, but they're 290 manpower for, I don't know, are they worse than Riflemen? That's something I have not tested enough because I've just been spamming the Rifleman Commander now that it's free for a limited time only, because Relic is weird, but that's a thing you can do. So here's a couple of Rifleman squads. This is the way I think to engage Stern Pioneers at the beginning of a match. You sort of mob them with Riflemen. The focus fire is going to bring them down fairly quick. Even if they charge you, they're going to take a lot of damage fairly quick. So that's, I think, the way to win as Americans in these early engagements versus the Oberkommando West. You sort of mob them, you blob them, you catch them in fights where you have the advantage in numbers, and they can't stick around because their advantage is in superior firepower in these Stern Pioneers and in superior positioning. So if you can catch them in red cover, of course, it's always an option, but their advantage is superior firepower, and if you can neutralize that with the big numbers and force them off, that's a lot of time wasted for them. The downside is that you do have to walk around in a bit of a blob. He's noticed Romeo capping this point with 2 squads, when instead he could be capping with 1 squad, because that's how capping works in Company Heroes 2. But that's the price you pay for safety. It's the buddy system. And these guys are all buddies. They're all friends. Friends and buddies. How come only their pants have snow? Someone explain that to me. Checkmate, atheists. And look, he's blobbing over here too, although it doesn't really count because rear echelons don't add anything. They add suppressant fire. We should be over here watching the fight. That's a more important thing. Do these guys have yellow cover? I don't believe so. They need to be in the bushes. Is there space in these? I think there's space in these bushes for these guys, but whatever. Where are you retreating? The fuck is wrong with you? Jesus. That's a retreat path for the history books. You might lose this squad. That's gonna be the comeback Romeo. Yep. No more GG. Remember, I called GG when Romeo lost that Rifleman squad, but now he's actually ahead. Because if we look at the manpower cost, it's 280 for Riflemen, whereas for my CPU, it's 320. So that's actually a pretty not a bad chunk, considering for my CPU bought a second one of these. You start with one, so it's like freebie. You just get it, but then it sucks. So I'm surprised these riflemen didn't go into this yellow cover in here. Oh god, oh, it's so painful. Oh god, the humanity, are they gonna die? Oh, he didn't focus fire. That's a big mistake on 4 on my CPUs. You should have focus fire this one-man squad, and that's your chance to grab a squad on the retreat, so that's really bad. Really, really bad. He might not have gotten it, but in any case it would have been better than what happened here. And he's chosen the Fallschirmjäger Luftwaffe doctrine. He's got his MG34, it's been out for a little while, because obviously it's right here, it's going to suppress these guys and they're fucked, and so that's nice. We have an airplane coming in, so I'm thinking we're going to see some paratroopers. Oh, just kidding, it's an HMG. Where'd he drop it? Probably in the base. There's no reason to drop it anywhere else. It comes in a little war spoils box. Isn't that adorable? I fucking hate how you have to crew this shit. Look, this is 260 manpower. That's a lot of manpower. Look at this. You can call in this for 210 manpower. Fucking best HMG in the game, I think, now that they buffed it. 210 manpower, comes in instantly, needs no recruiting. 4 fucking dudes, ready to go, rip-roaring, wearing pants. And you drop... Meanwhile, you go over here, 260 manpower, chances are it gets blown by the wind into a fucking tree and lost forever. If not, you still have to recruit it with whatever infantry you've got. Did he quick take to a captain? That's a weird choice. I've never seen anybody do that. Granted, I've watched like 10 replays total, and so I'm not exactly an expert. But still, quick tech to captain. Interesting choice. He's going to skip lieutenant. That's going to lose the M20. That's going to lose the AA half-track. It's going to lose the 50 cal. I'm just explaining obvious stuff. Obviously, he doesn't need the 50 cal. He can drop a 50 cal. But look, this is 280. This is 260. You gotta recrew this thing. You're paying way more than 20 manpower bonus for this thing. I mean, granted, you can get it wherever you want. Literally anywhere on the map, as long as it doesn't drift. I don't think it drifts. Maybe it's just the paratroopers who drift and can hit stuff. If you don't know how that works, play the United States for once. Pick the airborne. Drop them on a building, they'll die. Drop them on a tree, they'll die. Drop them on basically anything. They seem to be really fragile. I've only gone airborne a couple times. I was very disappointed with the fragility of my people. I lost 1 or 2 fucking people on drops. That's some bullshit. That didn't even happen in Company Heroes 1. What does that add to the game? What does that... It's like, oh, you gotta worry about wind, because when you select this thing, there's a little arrow you can see on the call-in thing that is like, the wind, and you have to account for the wind direction so they don't land on a fucking thing. And what does that add to the video game? Why is that in there? It's just fucking bullshit for the paratroopers to put up with. What? Somebody... 99%, I don't, that's too big. Some percent of the time, Relic does some bullshit. I just have no idea what is going through their heads when they do the bullshit. And this is, adding wind to the paradrop thing is one of those bullshit things. It's like, someone at Relic was like, this is gonna be cool. They'll have to make sure they don't drop the paratroopers in like a dangerous situation. So, oh, you should grab that fucking MBG-34 if you know it's good for you. Get that thing. You have a 5-man rifle squad right here. Fucking pick that up. It's the best machine gun ever created by man. Oh, no, now that's a bad idea. So this is a kind of a bullshit artillery, by the way. We'll talk about that later. I don't know why Relic just decided to... Fallschirmjägers decided to put... Now we have paratroopers coming in. Where are they coming? Let's find out. Are they coming here? Are they coming... I don't know. It's hard to... Here's some people. Are they gonna hit the building and die? You're okay, you're okay. Okay, they seem fine. Squad's going down. Oh man, again, misses a chance to focus fire. A bit tougher there because they were suppressed and then pinned. But still, you gotta do the focus fire, guys. Focus fire is where it's at on the retreating squads. You gotta wipe those squads. Wiping squads is even more important than wiping your butt after you poop. I don't think being drunk is improving my casting. Okay, so he's got the MG34. Why? Someone at Relic was like, they'll have to like think about where they drop the paratroopers. It'll be like a strategic decision or some. No, it's just like a fucking drop them in the open and hope they don't hit a thing. So quick tech to Stewart. Since he went straight to captain, I honestly am not a huge fan of the Stewart. First few times I played United States, I was all about the Stewart. I was Stuart Little, the Lord of the tank. But then, think he just lost his rear echelon squad. I say I think, but I know that's what happened. But then I was like, this thing gets killed by a Puma. It certainly gets killed by infantry AT. I'm not sure why those folks weren't firing. I think they just got unlucky. The Stuart kept killing the guy with the Shrek like a moment before he was firing. They're not tremendous against infantry AT. And also then Relic gave me the Rifleman Commander for free, so I was just calling, and I was holding out till 9 CPs and calling in easy 8s, but eventually I won't have that Rifleman Commander, because fuck Relic if they expect me to buy that shit. No, I'm not buying anything from them. No more microtransactions. I say no more. No microtransactions. I've never done a microtransaction. In my life, I don't think I've ever done a microtransaction. Here defining microtransaction as anything under, like, discounting Steam sale. Oh, Jesus! Motherfucker! Did you see that? Oh my god, I don't even know what to think about that. These guys have Tommy guns. These were recently buffed. These used to be better. The iconic and infamous Thompson submachine gun. What bullshit is that? Who's writing these things? The thing... This is going to be far afield from the sort of stuff I normally talk about in Shoutcasts. In Shoutcasts, I normally try... Actually, maybe this is not true. Normally, I try to talk about strategies and tactics. I try to make bad jokes and try and say the word fuck a lot. Oh, I was going to try and stop not saying fuck. Maybe that was in a... I surely... Okay. Anyways, here's the thing. The Company of Heroes is like... So real-time strategy games... The mood, the sort of the story, not the story, like the lore, the sense of like what kind of game it is, like I don't know, mood is maybe the best word, the milieu, I don't know. So like when you play a real-time strategy game or when you play any video game, there's all sorts of things like video games literally start from nothing, right? There's nothing, and then they put a lot of code and a lot of art and a lot of sounds and a lot of music and all sorts of stuff into the video game. And who just died? Is the Rifleman Squad died in some sort of like artillery barrage from this thing? Jesus, that must have been it, because I don't know what else. So there's like, you start with literally nothing in a video game, and you put all this stuff in, and then it becomes a video game. And you know, video games are very varied. You can have Dune, you can have Company of Heroes, you can have that game where you date pigeons or something. Had a Full Boyfriend on Steam. Check it out. The sky's the limit. It's as open as a novel or a movie, probably even more open, because the way you interact with video games can be different. Like there's real-time strategy games, there's first person. It's like an infinite canvas of like a million. Oh, abandoned. That's really unfortunate. Now it's a free Stewart. So it's looking kind of bad for the United States at this point. So it's an infinite canvas. You can make basically the sky's the limit with a video game. And so all the choices you make a difference to what the end user experience is like, what the video game ends up being like. Is it going to crew this with folks? Yep. Good choice there, I think, as long as you can retreat it. And it's not like there's any anti-tank here, so this Stewart's just going to own up the Rifleman. That's amusing. So, like, the sky's the fucking limit in terms of what your video game is. Are you going to make Star Citizen or Enemy Starfighter a space video game with... Oh, they've got the anti-tank grenades. Not worth it, I think. That was a freebie Stewart for a Rifleman Squad. Not worth it. Maybe worth it. Probably worth it, but unfortunate that he had to make that choice. So the sky's the fucking limit for video games, and all the different choices you make make a huge difference on sort of like a huge or a small difference on how people experience the video game. So there's this guy on YouTube started an account recently. I think he's doing sort of like UI overviews of games. He's done one for Thief. I haven't watched because I haven't played the new Thief. He's done one for Destiny, which I watched because I don't give a shit about Destiny. It's on PlayStation 4. And anyways, you can't spoil anything. He's sort of like, what do the choices made in the UI in Destiny or the UI in Thief sort of say about the game? Or what sort of like feeling does it give to the player when they're playing it? What, like, going real in depth? And you can do one of those videos for like any feature of the game. You could do a video about the voice acting in Company Heroes or Company Heroes 2. You could do a video about the UI in Company Heroes or Company Heroes 2. Company Heroes 2 UI is a piece of shit, by the way, compared to the original Company Heroes. And just from an objective point of view, you could do videos about the graphics. You could do videos about the sound. You could do, you don't have to do videos about them. You could just, like, all these things impact the, like, sort of the way the game is, and just like the experience of playing it, the experience of how it works, and of course all the big things too, like what genre is the game? Is it a first-person shooter? Is it a real-time strategy game? How does this game play? United States sort of resorting to blobbing infantry, which is unfortunate, but that's kind of a metagame how this works. You blob your United States infantry, and that's how they're pretty good, and we're going to see how these Tommy guns do versus these Fox Raiders. I'm excited to see that. Looks like they're doing fairly good. Once they're going to stop moving and start firing, they do force the Fox Raiders off. It's not like amazing like shock grips or something, but still pretty good. So all these choices you make in the video game, like, sort of influence the flavor, the thing about the video game. So let's talk about the choices made about the flavor text and the description text in Company Heroes 2, because this is what we're gonna focus on at this point. So if we hover over like the Pathfinder, a squad of Pathfinders is deployed to the battlefield. Pathfinders are scout infantry, make it safer to drop in the bulk of paratroop forces, and that's in white, and that's sort of the main description of them. Loses, oh no, doesn't lose a weapon squad. Looks like they're getting out of it. Losing his AT gun though, so it's, oh yeah, AT gun is down. So it's interesting that he went AT gun. He needed that versus the Jagdpanzer, but it's kind of hard to keep alive unless you dedicate a lot of your infantry to keeping it safe, and obviously he doesn't want to do that. He's trying to busy capping the map. Anyway, so we see the white sort of text description, the main description in the Pathfinder thing, and then in a yellow italic font, which is sort of less highlighted, new unit, Pathfinders, available for deployment. Click and select location to deploy. So the white text is all about sort of telling you what you're getting when you buy this thing. And then the yellow text is if you have some sort of mental disability and you don't know what clicking this button is going to do or what it means that this thing is lit up, it tells you what is up. And this sort of like, if you have a mental disability thing, is very important in video games, because most people who play video games I think do have mental disabilities, or at least they like can't fucking understand the simplest fucking bullshit in the entire world. This is including you people. I've seen the YouTube comments. You people are fucking idiots. Not this is the booze talking. I don't mean that. I love you. You're an you're so smart. I bet you could add two numbers together and not be off by more than 10. So the white stuff is sort of basically telling you what the Pathfinders do. It's just like, look, they've got these abilities. It doesn't really tell you what they're doing, because Company Heroes 2 is all about obscuring shit. That's what Blizzards are about. That's what this terrible UI that takes up so much of the screen and doesn't show you anything is all about. That's what this sort of indistinct graphics and the indistinct tracers and all this bullshit is about. It's all about obscuring things so you don't know what the fuck is going on. Compared to the original Company Heroes, which was incredibly just sharp and clear, and you always knew what was happening. Those Storm Pioneers down, so that's unfortunate for the... Let's swap over to see how he's doing. Not tremendous in terms of squads that he's got left alive. He's got this Vet 1 thing. So Company Heroes 2 is all about obscuring shit, and that's what you get when these things. So effective at suppressing massed infantry, right? It's never going to give you any numbers. It's never going to give you any statistics. It's just going to tell you suppresses people, okay? Grenades, I think, recently got buffed against people against buildings. They seem to do a ton of stuff, so that's why these paratroopers really down. It's weird how paratroopers can't reinforce in the field anymore like they could in the original Company Heroes. They can if you deploy a beacon from the Pathfinders, though, which is why when you see these people, they say it's safer to drop in the bulk of the scout infantry that make it safer to drop. Okay, no, now that doesn't make any fucking sense now that I read it again. Make it safer to drop in the bulk of the paratrooper forces. What? Presumably they mean, oh, drop in the bulk of the paratroop forces. So it's safer to drop in the bulk of your forces, which is bullshit because it's only safer to drop in the actual paratroopers, I think. They're the only ones who can actually die when you drop them. I was saying that 50 cal and then anti-tank gun could die, but I don't think those can die, right? Unless you drop them like directly on a building, in which case you're an idiot. That took a lot of health off these guys. Does he have an ambulance? No, yes he does. So you can heal him up. Oh, it's right here! Look at me, I'm drunk. And a major. He's setting up the thing. So, whatever. It doesn't tell you what really Pathfinders do, but look, if you've played the game before, you know Pathfinders can drop an airborne beacon, you know they're scout infantry because they have a long range of fire, and there you go. So, whatever. Paradrop from the .50 cal M2HB. This is risky, by the way, this point, because he's going to just get bombarded. Man, this is some brutal infantry combat. These Fallschirmjägers earning their keep, I would say. Paradrop in the .50 cal M2HB, having a machine gun in the battlefield that can be manned by allied infantry. MG-34 doing some work. This weapon is effective against mass infantry when set up in defensive positions, right? It tells you it has to set up, it tells you it's good against blobs, it tells you it has to be manned. Left click and left click target position. This weapon is dropped by air at the target location. So again, the yellow text if you're like functionally brain dead. We have a strafing run coming in. Interesting choice, by the way. The rocket strafe targets vehicles, so Yeah, it's not gonna hurt these infantry. I guess he's trying to hit the Jagdpanzer or something, but that's not happening. This thing is SOL. Okay, so there you go, right? So that's what I'm talking about, this paratroop thing. You get the idea. Paratroopers. A squad of elite paratroopers can be paradropped in the battlefield. Paratroopers can specialize at long or short range with weapons upgrades. It doesn't tell you what the weapons upgrades are. It doesn't tell you like how elite they are, obviously. Again, it's never going to give you stats for any of these things, because fucking Relic doesn't care if you understand what the hell is going on in their game. Paratroopers versus Fallship Makers. Paratroopers actually win that fight. More models is certainly helping them. New unit, paratrooper. Yeah, new unit. Thanks. I needed to know that's a new unit available for deployment. Oh, paratroopers. Really? New unit paratroopers? I didn't know this new unit was a paratroopers. I figured it was some other fucking bullshit. Rocket strafe still going on because P-47 doesn't have anything there to do. Dropping into areas with large numbers of large objects increases the risk of deadly landing. So that's not technically right. Really, what happens is if you land on an object, no matter how many there are in the area, you're fucked. If you don't land on an object, you're fine, no matter how many there are. But again, Relic never gonna give you a fucking straight answer about this stuff. It's always gotta be cloaked in some bullshit. Anyways, whatever. I'm gonna get to a point, by the way. Crewing an MG34, good shit there. I'm gonna, like, I have to read a lot of these before I get to my point. But you gotta understand. So, let's swap over real fast for my CPU, who is called, no, just kidding. I was looking on the map and I saw the thing outlined around the sector, but of course that's just a major. Okay. Paradrop an M1 57mm AT gun to the battlefield that can be manned by allied infantry. Weapon is effective against armored vehicles. Thanks. Right, got it. Left click and left click target position. The weapon is dropped by air at the target location. Great. In case you're a stupid fucking idiot who doesn't understand that paradrop in an M57mm means that if you click on this and click on a location, you'll get it. Great. Got it. I'm a fucking idiot. P-47 rocket strike. Thunderbolt will patrol an area and attack vehicles with high velocity. Aircraft rocket strike. Thanks. High velocity. I'm glad that he's not going to fire the 2 miles per hour rocket. That would be really ineffective against the things that I'm trying to kill. The United States actually doing fairly good. The Jagdpanzer, kind of a bad choice, I think. He's not fighting against any vehicles, so it's not like you're going to have anything to do with that. Not sure why he bought the rear echelon, potentially to repair the thing. Click in target position. Plane will patrol the area for a period of time. This is a case where the yellow text adds basically nothing. Again, you'd have to be functionally brain dead for you to learn anything from reading that yellow text. But you're getting the idea, right? You're getting the feel of what these tooltips are, right? You're starting to understand. Riflemen are well-trained infantry who can fight infantry or light vehicles when properly equipped. They are the backbone of the U.S. Army, effective for medium range versus infantry. Great. Okay, you got it. You get good. You're getting the sense of what these sort of descriptions sound like. Rear echelon troops are effective defenders and versatile. No army can do without them. So that one's actually kind of the weirder one, but so we'll skip over that because it's going to make my point slightly worse. Disembark medic squad, heal units, drop medical supplies, reinforce police squads, supplies medically in the field, reinforces troops when not moving in an own territory that's in supply. Great. So you get the picture, right? The white text is basically like, what does the unit do? Like, what are its basic features? What are its strengths and weaknesses? Basically, its strengths. And then the yellow text is if you're like, there's no brain, there's nothing going on upstairs, what do you need to know? And occasionally something helpful. So over here, like, supplies medical aid in the field, reinforces troops when not moving in an own territory that's supplying non-conflict. Right? So that actually tells you something. That's actually useful. But generally the yellow text is, if you're an idiot, nice job dodging that, but it looks like they'll be caught on the retreat. Anyways, that artillery came in and didn't do anything. If he gets this squad on the retreat, that's going to be really, really impressive for the OKW, because they're going to have reduced ability to repair, seeing as he hasn't teched up to the repair truck yet. And so, looking kind of bad for the OKW. I'm just... Oh, there's some grenade going over here. Boom. Looking kind of bad for the OKW, teching up this Jagdpanzer. He's really paying for it, because there's just not anything he can use to fight against it. Meanwhile, they decrew this thing. Okay, so, a bit more. Weapon is a core part of the defense against armored vehicles. Jesus, that guy took the day off when he was writing the description for this, but it's a fucking AT gun. What do you think it is? Okay, there you go. And this thing is getting destroyed by the AT gun. Yeah, Jagdpanzer not a good choice. Immobile howitzer, capable of firing light barrages. Gotcha, whatever. M5 Stuart, light nimble tank, 57. Okay, you get the picture. Captain is commanding improve the action of nearby infantry, heavily armed. Great, we got it. Okay, this... Oh, wow, it killed it. Oh, killed it. Okay, so this is probably going to be GG pretty soon. Okay, but now we get to the crowning point of this thing that, I should analyze the game a bit before I fucking get to this thing. The lesson here is a Jagdpanzer is worth bullshit versus infantry. If your opponent doesn't get a tank until now, then the Jagdpanzer's not going to do anything. Dumping all that fuel into into a Jagdpanther. Really, really not so great. So Airborne for the win, I suppose. They're also kicking ass. Thompson's, I guess, really got upgraded. Okay, so now my crowning point. You've got... what is he doing? They can lay demo charge... What? Since when? I didn't know that. He's got... Wow, that's impressive. The Sherman could have done that. Okay, playback. Fuck! Okay, well, I can't select the paratrooper so you can see it, but I remember what it said. It said the iconic and something else Tommy gun, blah, 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 blah. You get it on the paratroopers. So, like, iconic and... I can't rewind because it's a piece of shit. I can slow down playback. Thanks. So, iconic and whatever other word they use doesn't fit into the trend of the white text that they've got everywhere else in this video game, right? The white text is just the business, like, here's what you get. Mounted M2HB, whatever, engage stuff, right? Like, it's all business. It's fucking, what does this thing do? Like, tell me in, like, 10 words what this thing does. Relatively fragile, has a powerful gun. Light howitzer, Stewart, has versatile tank. And then, suddenly, iconic and something else on the Tommy gun. That's, like, outside the context of World War II, right? Like, I guess the Tommy gun was probably iconic because of, like, gangster movies and people going around with, like, like the drum magazines and, like, coppers and stuff like that. Bonnie and Clyde shit. That's why the Tommy gun is iconic and stuff like that. And so it's drawing in, number one, stuff outside the context of the battle. It's talking about, like, how people view World War II, how people view the gun outside the context of World War II. Is this sort of, like, societal view of what's going on with this equipment. It's drawing in, like, stuff sort of previous to World War II and post World War II, because maybe the iconic stuff is after World War II. It's drawing in, like how people think and feel and, like, the ideas of the media and stuff. Like, certainly nothing that has to do with the battlefield. Like, do you care if the Tommy guns are iconic or not if you're going to put them on your paratroopers? Do you care if something's iconic or not when you're going to purchase it for, what, like 75 munitions or something? Obviously not. Like, iconicness is completely out of the picture in terms of this white text that they have in, like, literally every other description of the unit. And so that weird, like, dissonance or something where suddenly you're reading something and it's not, like, excellent armor and even better. So here's, like, it's just like it severs this sense of what the game is like, sort of what's being communicated. It brings in, like, the idea that this game is not just this sort of, like, World War II battlefield where you're sort of choosing things on the basis and understanding things on the basis, because what they put in the tooltips is sort of like a microcosm of what you're trying to understand about the game, right? What they put in the tooltips is what they want you to know about the game so that you can play the game, right? That's why it's in the tooltip, right? This isn't like a history lesson. This is sort of like, here's what you need. Throw a bailed load of 7 Model 27 and fire a short-range Panzerfaust anti-tank. The Billenkorb creates smoke screen that harm enemy infantry through acute exposure. It hurts people. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So it's like telling you what you need to play the game. And then suddenly you go over to the Airborne and it's like the iconic Tommy gun, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why do I need to know it's iconic? How is it relevant? It's iconic. It just sort of fucks with your sort of perception of what the game is doing and what the developers are trying to tell you and what the tooltips are trying to tell you and what's being communicated to you and sort of the sense of what the game is, just at its fundamental level. Is it this game where you're picking upgrades because of what they do, or are you picking them because they're iconic, right? The only relevance that something's iconic is that you want to, like, oh, this thing's cool, I want to get it or something. And I know we have a lot of Nazi role players or something who are like, oh, the United States is overpowered, they got to buff the OKW. Like, if you watch Imperial Dane's balance video, that's what he's all about. But, like, generally, when you're playing this game, what you're caring about is, like, how good is this thing that I'm purchasing, this upgrade that I'm purchasing? What is this upgrade that I'm purchasing going to do? Squad loses firepower as a mine detector, replaces weapons. No, like, so that's what you're worrying about. And then suddenly you have this weird discordant tooltip, and it's just like, that's some weird shit. Like, presumably the guy at Relic was, like, high on hashish or whatever when he was writing this, but, like, it's just a weird, one of those weird dissonant things I think is worth pointing out in a video game whenever it shows up. And that's, I could go on for an hour about this, but probably my buzz is gonna wear off. I'm not buzzed, I'm fucking drunk. Actually, I might be buzzed. I was drunk a while ago now, but no, but nobody is watching this video at this point. If you're watching this video right now, send me a message on YouTube, post a comment in this video, and I would say I'd reward you, but probably there's like 10 people or 20 people watch, or probably, okay, 20% because that's how many stick around for these things. 20% of like the thousands of video. Okay, there's probably a lot of people watching, so I can't offer you any reward, but if I ever see you, I'll make out with you. If you're not ugly, but you're probably... Well, I shouldn't say you're probably ugly. I don't know what the... Okay, I'm talking too much. Bye.